Hey, yo, hey everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be doing Supergirl, Kandor. Take a look at this comic cover right here. Now, Supergirl Kandor is technically the second volume in the Supergirl series. However, the reason why I'm saying technically is because in between Supergirl Power, Volume 1, and Supergirl Kandor, Volume 2, is the Supergirl and the Legion of Superheroes stories. Now, these stories are not part of the main Supergirl series. However, they do take place in between Kandor and Power. Now, I'm not going to be picking this up. The reason why is nothing against the Legion of Superheroes. I just don't like them. I respect them. They're a good team. They're a fan favorite for a lot of people. Just personally for me, I don't care for them at all. So I'm not going to be picking them up. So with that said, Supergirl Kandor. Now, Kandor has a few stories in it. It has this main Kandor story, which is actually the second half of the book. And then it has a bunch of miscellaneous stories that deal with Supergirl leading up until the Infinite Crisis. Now, these miscellaneous stories fall under other titles rather than the Supergirl title. Titles like JSA, JLA, and Superman. And mostly it deals with just Supergirl going into the Infinite Crisis, joining Donna Troy's team to go into space, getting Superman's permission. If you read Superman's Sacrifice or JLA, A World Without the Justice League, you get to see how it all ties in, and it deals with a lot of issues dealing with that. Actually, the issues from JLA and this are actually some of the issues in A World Without the Justice League. So, with that said, let's get into the main story, which is the Kandor story. Now, the Kandor story is the second half of this book, and it takes place 1 year later. It is a 1 year later story. So, with that said, Supergirl and Power Girl are both on the city of Kandor. Now, if you don't know anything about Kandor, don't worry. It's a fucking confusing place. In general, Kandor is the bottle city in which a bunch of Kryptonians live, and Superman keeps it in his Fortress of Solitude. In Kandor has a lot of origin stories, a lot of background. You know, there's some fake Kandors, there's some real Kandors. It's not really worth going into. If this story comes up after my Superman Godfall review, you'll understand why. So let's just assume I'm posting this up after my Superman Godfall review, which is in here right now. So with that said, Supergirl and Power Girl are on Kandor, and they're helping out a bunch of aliens in their revolution against the evil dictator Kal-El. Supergirl and Power Girl go under the guise of Flamebird and Nightwing, the Kryptonian hero legends. Now, you're probably saying, well, Kal-El, isn't that Superman? Why is he being a dick and evil and such a cunthead? Well, see, it's not actually Superman. It's actually Ultraman, the Earth 2 evil crime syndicate of America version of Superman. And it gets into detail on exactly why he's there and who brought him there, which ties in with many titles, which I like. Now, while on Kandor, Supergirl is really struggling with her need to kill Superman. What you have to understand is Supergirl, when she was younger, before getting shot into the spaceship to go off into Earth, she was told by her father to kill Superman. Now, I'm not exactly sure if this is maybe a hypnotic suggestion or if she listens to him or whatever. I mean, in Supergirl Power, they made it seem like Supergirl was a completely different person, willing to do her father's orders to kill her baby cousin. However, in Kandor, it's more like she's struggling with her dark side, and she's actually didn't want to kill her cousin. She's just the influence her father has over her. I'm not exactly sure how to address it. I know it's picked up a bit more in Supergirl Identity, which I haven't got yet. So Supergirl's really struggling with the suggestion to kill Superman. She doesn't want to, but it's like a drug addict or someone that's being hypnotized or brainwashed. I mean, she can't really help it. So she's struggling with that as she's thinking of taking her frustrations out on Ultraman. And Power Girl is trying her best to keep Supergirl in line. So with that said, that's the basic story. I don't want to get into it too much, but I like how they tie a lot of this together with other Superman, Batman, and Supergirl titles. So with that said, let's get into the good, the bad, and whether or not you should get it. Well, first off, amazing art. I mean, Ern Churchill is a great artist. He's the one that's done Supergirl Power. And then we have Ed Benz, who's one of my favorite artists of all time. He's up there with Jim Lee and George Freza as one of my favorites. He just does fantastic work. So the art in this is great. The Power Girl story, the art is good. It's not as detailed, but it's still good. So the art is good. Two, I like the fact that they go back to Kandor. Again, assuming this is after my Superman Godfall review, I enjoyed Kandor and Godfall. And I felt as though it wasn't explored enough there. We get to go back to Kandor here, and you get to see a lot of the elements from Superman Godfall fall into place here. The religious cult of Superman, how much they worship him, the aliens being separated from the true Kryptonians or Kandorians. So you get to see a lot of elements from Superman Godfall transition over into this, which is nice. Also, Supergirl as a character is really starting to grow, and it starts to become more of a in-depth, dynamic character. I mean, this is a girl with all this power in her hands, and she really doesn't know how to use it. She's struggling with her father's wishes to kill her cousin, and she's struggling with the virtues of being a good person. It's really an interesting character dynamic. It's totally different from all the other Supergirls we've had before. Zor-El, Earth 2 Supergirl, Matrix, Linda, all of them felt very traditional. And although Kara keeps a traditional feel, she's very much different and radically different from other Supergirls. So in that, you really get to see the young teenager here, and it's really enjoyable. In addition to that, you get to see a relationship between Power Girl and Supergirl, and it's kind of a sister-mentor relationship, which is really fun to read. Downsides to the book. Well, you feel kind of cheated getting all these miscellaneous issues, the JLA and the Superman issues. I know that kind of helps you tie into going into the Infinite Crisis, but I just wasn't feeling it at all. I felt as though you could have taken those issues out and added more to the Kandor story. Because another bad to this is the story is very short, very abrupt, and again, it kind of ends really quickly. At first you feel a little confused, although everything does come together. Although the very ending on why Supergirl does what she does, why she leaves Kandor, is just kind of like, what? What the hell? I felt we got cheated out of a bit of a story there. So that's a big downfall. On a whole, Kandor is a story with a lot of potential, because, they have the setting good, they have the characters good. I mean, they are Kandor, or a holy war against Kal-El, Supergirl and Power Girl going at it. It was a beautiful setup. And then they ruined it all by cutting it short. On a whole, I give Kandor a 2.5 out of 5 stars. It has potential, but it really falls short. I think if anything saves this, it really continues to deliver the dynamic character development we've been getting with Kara, getting with Supergirl, but besides that, the story itself is weak. So, I would recommend this only to Supergirl fans. If you're a Superman fan wanting to get into other Superman family stuff, like Supergirl and, Power Girl and all that kind of stuff, you probably would want to avoid this. If you're a Supergirl fan, then you're probably going to pick this up just for the pure reason that a lot of the stuff here transitions over into later stuff, or I can only assume so. I haven't read anything past Kandor yet, but we'll see what happens. But on the whole, it could have been better. It had potential, but it just fell short. So with that said, I'm going to end this review here. This is Andrew saying peace out for now.